it's incel shit. Oh, I didn't know that you were here, listener. Welcome back to Anime Death Spiral, the only anime podcast that is fully bonded and licensed and insured now.
Oh, I wasn't talking about how much I hate anime. I would never say that.
No, we love anime. We love bringing you the anime.
Wink. I'm winking. I'm huge wink. I'm winking super hard right now.
They can't see that.
It's drying out my eye how much I'm winking right now. I love anime. Wink, wink.
Oh boy.
How much do you love anime?
Oh, I love anime about this much.
Damn. And he's holding his fingers together so tightly. They're shaking. You know how much I love anime? For real?
How much do you love anime, Remy?
I literally took time out of my day to watch Ninja Kamui, a mid-season premiere. That's right. This is a tardy anime. It showed up after First Class Bell.
Fashionably late, some would call that.
Fashionably late, and I still gave it a shot. I didn't send it home. I threw that shit on. I was a little sleepy from having a big dinner, so I thought, perfect, I'll throw on the new anime. I'll check this shit out. It's an Adult Swim collab for some reason. This will be great. If I fall asleep halfway through this, I'll have no regrets.
Yeah, Adult Swim collab. What, this and the Fooly Cooly ones? They've been trying to dip their toes into funding the anime. I don't know if they're pulling it off.
They know like what side of the bread is buttered, right?
Uh-huh.
You know, there's not too many up and coming Tim and Erics.
Talking about pulling up the ladder behind you.
Yeah, no kidding. Did you watch the? Oh, I know. Well, I know you did. You watched that fucking Eric Wareheim Super Bowl ad.
I didn't actually. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you did. The Michael Cera one.
Oh, yes. Yeah, the Sarah V.
Sarah V, the Michael Sarah V. You know, I'm not saying Eric is the sellout. You know, it's like, whatever, get the bag or whatever. But
hey, get your money.
The dude from Tim and Eric, or you know, Tom Goes to the Mayor because we're very old, is making Super Bowl ads now. I don't know. There is something sad to be about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wonder how he got into that position. Like, you know, whose idea was it to get like, oh yeah, the Tim and Eric guy. Let's get Eric to produce this what I'm assuming is a multi-million dollar production of Michael Cera with a bunch of face cream.
Just rubbing creams on various hot men.
Yeah.
Well, you know, buying an ad placement at the Super Bowl is already itself like putting you millions of dollars in the hole. I wonder, because I see Tim Heidecker doing stuff all over the place, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, he's got his greasy little hands in a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah. The On Cinema stuff is still happening.
Mm-hmm.
Decker and On Cinema are extraordinarily funny. Have you watched those?
No, I haven't.
Decker is like his fake CSI 2024 style show. I
can already imagine what that's like.
Yeah, you could picture it immediately. It's very good. And On Cinema is just he's doing like a fake Siskel and Ebert kind of show.
Mm-hmm.
Tim's had a really good postseason career. Eric. I see him every once in a while. He had a big role in Master of None, the Aziz Ansari show, which I think maybe backfired a little bit.
Yeah, he does. He's got like a YouTube channel. He does some weird stuff on there.
Oh, doesn't he have a cooking show?
Well, yeah, I was about to say that was the last thing that I saw him do was the pilot for his cooking show, where the joke was Tim would just come on set and fuck with his shit and be mean to him.
yeah, which was very good.
Yeah. I feel like you're deflecting from talking about Ninja Kamui.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I'm realizing, man, there's just like not that much to say about Ninja Kamui. There's definitely more to say about Tim and Eric postseason career than there is to say about Ninja Kamui. Well, how about to go into Ninja Kamui? Let's start here because I know you already made the comparison. I know lots of people are going to make the comparison anyway. John Wick, go.
It's John Wick, but with cyber ninjas. That's it. That's all it is.
Give us your John Wick thing.
My John Wick thing? I don't even know what you mean by that.
What is your opinion on John Wick?
Oh,
Give us your John Wick thing. Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah. I don't know, John. I haven't watched the whole series. I've only seen the first one. I was kind of like, yeah, it was a pretty good action movie. You know, it's well choreographed in that gun fu kind of sense. I like seeing stuff like that, but I got the bit after one movie. You don't need 4 of them.
Right. Yes. You mentioned this a little bit when we were talking about Jigen Daisuke.
Yeah.
That's actually, I'm just really glad you said that, because that is perfect, because that is exactly how I feel about Ninja Kamui.
Yeah. We got one episode. I get the premise. Do you need to make a whole series?
There is no point in continuing to make this show. We get it. That's the whole story. We got it. Thanks. Cool. Good.
I mean, I think that there are some aspects of Ninja Kamui that are worth bringing up before we completely dismiss it. Namely, the weird ass depiction of what an Adult Swim produced anime thinks like normal America is like, I guess. Like, so the premise is we're dropped in media res into this story. What I'm assuming is about a ninja who got out of the biz.
Yeah.
He was a super high tech assassin ninja, doing cool backflips and shooting needles out of his eyes and poisoning people probably.
Yeah. Breathing black smoke.
Yeah, breathing and then turning into black smoke, which is dope, I guess.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, like that's cool. And then he got out. He had a kid with another ninja. I don't know. Was his wife a ninja too? Do you think?
The implication was definitely that there was a kunoichi.
If she wasn't a ninja herself, she at least knew about his past, right?
Well, and she knew how to fight.
Yes.
Not good, but she knew how to fight.
No, because she got stabbed through the throat very, very early on.
I mean, she gets owned, and it's like not even.
And actually,
close.
I laughed at that part because they have him do like the sad flashback thing when the wife dies, but they only showed clips of stuff that had already happened earlier in that episode.
Yes, they did the shitty TV movie thing.
Yeah.
Where you flash back to 20 minutes before. Yes, and you put a little soft filter on it so everybody knows it's a memory.
So his wife and kid get murked, and I guess first of all we should mention that we're introduced to this family as like, you know, middle of nowhere America corn farmers. And he's got like the most stereotypical looking blonde white guy goatee.
Yes, he is a corn syrup farmer. Yeah. He digs corn syrup out of the ground in his vast fields of corn syrup.
In his Mick Kobayashi farming equipment.
Yes, he's driving around the endless fields of America.
Well, I mean,
no states involved, just America. It's all just one big thing.
In Mizzle Ditch, Missouri or whatever.
Yeah, Mizzle, Missouri.
He spends his days farming corn syrup with his wife and kid on a vast farm, far larger than I think 3 people could handle, one of them being a literal child.
He has industrial acreage, and for some reason, which is never expounded on, and I assume never will be because the farm is burnt down at the end of the first episode, he just has massive server farms on top of the physical farms. What? Why?
Well, you know, it's the economy these days. You got to diversify. You can't just make it as a corn farmer.
So those massive fucking towers on his corn land, those were probably like Bitcoin rigs, right? He was farming Bitcoin
yeah,
on top
exactly. Those were filled with 4090s.
He spends his days drilling down into the Iowa earth looking for a pocket of corn syrup underneath the Earth's crust. And then at night,
you're getting it wrong. He farms the corn and he mines the bitcoins from the earth.
He's extracting the bitcoins directly from the Earth's mantle.
Yeah. Which, people, if you didn't know, that's where bitcoins come from. They are literally mined out of the ground like gems.
Yeah.
I'm looking at one right now. It's beautiful. If you've never seen a raw Bitcoin, you should really check it out.
Dinosaur bones over long periods of time turned into crude oil, and ancient jellyfish bones turned into Bitcoin after 100,000 years.
Not a lot of people know that, but yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah. So he's just doing America TM style things.
Going to the big burger store.
He goes to the big burger store with his wife and kid. They have a big burger lunch set, and they happily go home and sing Big Burger songs to each other around a Big Burger fire, where they are now grilling more burgers.
I'm just thinking about when he was playing the guitar. And a totally different voice singing in English. By the way, it's kind of weird that no one ever comments how like they're always speaking Japanese in this American farming community.
Yeah. I think it's really great, and it's very on theme that he speaks Japanese the entire time.
But he sings in English.
When he opens his mouth to sing and accompany his guitar playing, he's the guy from American football. Which, it's like, hey, that's the perfect fit, right?
I think it was even funnier because he's singing some kind of like Midwestern emo slow ballad. It's like the slow song you'd hear on a Taking Back Sunday album or something.
Yes, Switchfoot.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I pull more? Can I pull in Hawthorne Heights? Right?
Yellow Card.
Dashboard Confessional. Remember them?
Plain White Tees.
These are the touchstones for our ninja boy. He's really into Midwest emo and corn farming and Bitcoin mining and fixing up the Harley. Am I right?
Oh yeah, and getting grease on his face,
flipping the bergs on the grill with your old woman. And she's nagging you, right? Am I right, boys? Am I right, fellas?
And playing with your son and his traditional Japanese oni mask.
His oni mask that somebody gave to him from a quote-unquote trip. Yeah. What was the implication there? What?
Is this a threat?
Yeah, what the fuck? What is happening here? Why is this a thing, and why does it exist?
Well, so what we come to figure out is that he was in some kind of ninja gang because him and his wife,
one of those street ninja gangs.
Yeah. Him and his wife, through our time with them, our very short time with her, they're kind of like tentatively watching the news as stories of these like weird murders pop up around the country, and it becomes clear that it's like they were part of a group of defector ninjas who are now being hunted down, right? And so finally the ninjas come for him.
Yes.
And they kill his wife and kid, and they think they kill him, but they do not. In fact, they fail at killing him. They suck at killing him even.
It's bizarre because they definitely do kill him.
I mean, they do jam a big sword through his chest. There's no denying that.
They impale him on a big sword, and they put, like, stuff in his neck. He can't breathe. Also, he's clinically dead for, like, 12 hours.
Yeah, for, like, a day.
He's declared dead. Yeah, on arrival. He's in the fucking morgue. We're about to get one of those locked-in scenarios where you get autopsied while you're still alive kind of thing. But at the last second, he pops his eyes open. And he's fine. No, he's fine. He's actually fine because of all that ninja training.
He seems like he's healed up pretty well. I mean, there's obviously something going on with this guy. He's got some kind of ninja powers, right? Because, again, he can, like, breathe out black smoke and then disappear into the black smoke and teleport around.
Yes.
Which he does use to do, like, ninja tricks, which is kind of cool.
He does ninja tricks, yeah.
Those ninja tricks, like you ever go to a party and there's that one kid who just wants to do ninja tricks the whole time?
We used to hang out and do ninja tricks down at the basketball courts because you could do like a 360 ninja shove it or a ninja kick flip, and there was enough room that you wouldn't hurt yourself.
Yeah. Anyway, he's doing that. He's doing that all over the place. And he's got some kind of funky ninja power. I think that's clear. I don't know if it's magic. Maybe it's like he has techno ninja powers because that seems to be the theme, right? They're like cyber ninjas.
Yeah, he does do. There is a quick shot of him doing traditional Naruto hand signs.
Yep. He throws up his hand signs.
Yes, he throws up the ninja gang signs and breathes out his black smoke, which can't be good for you. I got the black lung pop. He is clearly supposed to be the titular ninja Kamui. Yes. Right?
Yeah. No, he's the one.
Yeah, which explains the super godly powers, but does not explain why they send wave after wave of just meat at him, just cannon fodder. I mean, he goes through what, 40, 50 low-level grunts? Like, he's wiping out trash mobs left and right. Why wouldn't you desert the ninja clan? Like, look how they treat you.
Those ninjas seem like they kind of suck, right?
Hey, we're taking all the first years on a field trip. They're gonna go try to kill the ninja Kamui. I feel like I'm a little sick today. Can I maybe skip this one? Nope.
Well, I mean, if we're being honest, they did kill him, right?
Yeah, but you know what? On a technicality, because this guy's a badass. In a fair fight,
he was distracted by his dead wife.
Yeah, in a fair fight, they could never take this guy. It's only because of they were cheating. They invoked the death of his wife so that he would slip up. That classic ninja technique of killing a guy's wife in front of him.
Have you ever noticed that a lot of classic ninja technique is just kind of being a dick, right?
It's just being a piece of shit.
Hey, dude, you threw a knife at me. What the fuck?
Well, I will say that is something I found very cool about Under Ninja.
Oh yeah,
was the way it takes all of these incredibly stupid things about being a ninja and plays them out to their logical conclusion, which tends to be good fodder for actual funny comedy. Which is good stuff.
I mean, I do like the concept of being a ninja is just like a job that this dude hates.
It's a really bad job that people don't want to do after they've been one for a while. They realize it's a drag, but you're not allowed to leave.
Yeah.
If you leave, they will kill you, which is what's happening
Which is
here.
what brought us to Ninja John Wick in Ninja Kamui.
Yes.
And when I say Ninja John Wick, I'm not just kind of being flippantly general about it. He does the whole thing. He gets a sledgehammer and opens up the secret safe in his house that has all of his old equipment on it.
Mm-hmm. He reminisces about his dead wife multiple times in the span of 25 minutes.
Exactly. Again, never showing anything that we didn't already see literally happen in the episode. He's not flashing back to better times. He's flashing back to earlier that day when he was talking to his wife.
Yeah, he's only got one picture of her too, that he burns.
Well, he burns down the whole house.
He burns down the whole corn farm. The corn syrup burns, and corn syrup is very flammable.
Oh, no, not the corn.
Not the corn. The corn syrup blows up. It kills off all his Bitcoin rigs. He puts on his super edgelord demon Oni mask and puts his hood up.
I'm just going to tell you what happens, because we know what happens based on this one episode, right? He goes on an ever-escalating series of killing people higher and higher up in the hierarchy of the ninja organization until he gets to the big boss, and then he kills his old ninja mentor or whatever, and then that's it, right? What substance does this story have left to tell us?
Well, again, this was kind of the roundabout way I was getting at with the John Wick stuff. But you are forgetting, just this show doesn't deserve it, but to be fair to the show, there is one other element that we left out. They introduce a pair of almost bumbling Spawn-esque cop detectives.
Yes. Well, FBI detectives.
They're all fucking detectives. And they are clearly going to play some role in this, right? These two bumbling-ass detectives are going to kind of doggedly pursue him in the bloody wake of his massacre. And at some point, they'll probably link up and the cops will become involved in a big conspiracy. And a lot of the actual plot will become contingent on how they interact with the story, which is how a lot of times these kinds of serialized revenge fantasies kind of hinge.
The audience stand-in character.
Yeah, the actual burden of narrative gets placed on these bumbling detective assholes.
Well, I mean, they do that because if we're just following around the psychopathic murderer going on a rampage, we get diminishing returns on how much we empathize with the character, right?
Yes.
I think John Wick 1 played its cards right with having the inciting incident be about the dog dying and not the wife dying. The wife was already dead, and then he got the dog, and the dog was killed.
The dog was the final straw.
Yes.
Right? I mean, it's literally kick the dog shit.
I don't know what this says about me, but I think that's a much more endearing place to start for that character than with the dead wife.
Yeah, that he's already sad and broken, but he doesn't have anybody to, externalize that rage onto because it was just a thing that happened. You can't snipe cancer in the neck. You just got to accept it.
It's like, and what more can you do with that character after that, right? That's why I never watched the other ones, but I know they introduce the ancillary audience stand-in characters for us to go along with John Wick.
Kind of. What they do in John Wick, which is sort of what I imagine they're going to try to do with this show, is they introduce an increasingly baroque internal world. So essentially, they inject the dreaded world building into John Wick. So the idea of being a hitman in the first movie, which is just you're a guy who gets paid to kill people, takes on more and more mythical status as you realize that the world of John Wick is not our world. It is a fantasy world occupied by fantasy characters.
I did hear that there's like a whole mystical assassin society, and they have weird code words and rituals, right?
Let me just put it like this. This is how John Wick 4 opens. John Wick 4 in his trademark black suit is riding a Destria through the Sahara Desert. He's chasing Saracens across the desert. He managed to kill them just in time for him to arrive at a beautiful kind of overhang where a sort of sheik has set up a hookah and his morning breakfast of grapes and dates, and he beckons for John to sit, and they have a discussion about the rules of the fantasy world they inhabit. That's how the movie opens. And then he goes, "You can't possibly kill me because in this fantasy world, I am one of the top men." And then John Wick goes, "I don't care," and plugs him in the face. And that's how we know John is a cool guy.
Wow.
So that's basically, I think, where they're going to be taking this. They're going to be increasingly making the world itself weirder as a stand-in for making the character himself have any kind of interesting wrinkles, which he does not.
Well, they've already started off in a much more fantastical scenario than John Wick 1 started off in, right? We already have the knowledge that there is some kind of clandestine cyber ninja society out there, right? That's already bigger than the mob story that was John Wick.
Yeah, sort of. Again, I would say the assassin society in John Wick is, like, again, baroque. It is just as mythological as any kind of ninja clan. By the time you get to the second movie, the amount of ridiculous shit they have pounded into that story is as insane as any kind of techno ninja bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know.
But of course, John Wick does not have a friendly, bumbling cop detective duo to shadow him around.
I mean, that's just the trope, right? The Zenigata. You got to have the bumbling detective,
yes,
to kind of ground it.
Well, I said Spawn earlier because I like those two. Their names escape me right now. I think one of them's Itch.
Something itchy and twitchy.
Itchy and twitchy. I like those two guys. They are because they are grotesque.
I mean, everybody in Spawn is grotesque, yeah.
Everybody in Spawn is grotesque. That's what I like about Spawn. Speaking of grotesque, I do want to point out this is a thing, and this is not exclusive to Ninja Kamui. I have been seeing this more and more and more, even in some stuff I want to talk about later. The female detective.
Go on.
Did you pick up on her hairstyle?
Well, I know that she was rocking kind of like a mullet ponytail thing.
She has what is essentially a bob, like almost kind of a pixie cut, but with a 4-foot-long rat tail.
When I saw it, I was thinking of Witch from Mercury.
Yes, exactly. This isn't exclusive to these two. I've been seeing it more and more in new series. This horrifying, truly awful hairstyle for women, almost always women. I've seen a couple men have it, but this like short cut and then just one little rat tail that comes out of the back, or sometimes even the top of the head, and goes like down to their ass. This is, I mean, there has been, we're living in 50 years now of truly disgusting, awful anime haircuts. This is one of the worst ones. I despise this one.
Bottom 5, I would say for sure.
I already didn't like rat tails.
You see, it's funny, we're ragging on this design, but if somebody like Araki did something with this in JoJo, you know it would look good.
I'm going to try to I guess I'll try to document these as we see them.
Yeah.
But god damn it, I hate those so much.
I agree. Not a good look. Not a good look. All right.
I mean, there's lots of bad anime hairstyles. Too many to list off. The antenna era, we lived through the antenna era.
Well, it was the Gokus and the Yugis, the Gons.
I like Gon because that one has a punchline.
But yeah, I don't know. Let's stop talking about anime hair. We've already stopped talking about Ninja Kamui.
Honestly, that's the most notable thing about Ninja Kamui is that one instance of the hair. That's the only thing that's going to be culturally relevant when this show is done.
Yeah. I guess we should mention the main ninja boss that he hacks up right at the end of the episode. He's got weird hair. He's got like
he has like dreads.
He's got like these weird dread braid, but they're like albino white.
Yeah. Somehow that doesn't break the ninja rules. Like, isn't there a dress code? I don't understand.
I mean, where are they getting all of the ninjas, right? For the level of technology and training those guys seem to exhibit. How are you filling that many slots and going through them that fast?
Well, because
that's what I want to know.
You have like a whole breed. You have like a whole breeding system. You know.
Oh, these are farm-raised ninjas?
These are farm-raised ninjas. These are farm-to-table ninjas. Like in Hell's Paradise, remember? They come from the ninja village.
Right.
Or like in Under Ninja, where...
It's a minimum wage job.
Yeah, ninjadom is essentially a low-level extension of the government itself. So it's a kind of a make-work program. But they really don't care about wasting these dudes at all. They're just fodder. They're just meat puppets.
I guess we should round out with talking about the fact that they reveal that he's not a white guy. He is in fact him and his wife, and I guess his kid too.
Oh, we didn't even mention that.
Yeah.
It turns out he was wearing whiteface the whole time.
It's not the same thing. It's not.
He was wearing America face. He's literally had a sheet of paper glued over his face.
You make it sound like the spy mask from TF2.
It is. It literally is.
No, he had some kind of high tech, like Mission Impossible, nano machine mask that he pulls off. Right?
Yeah, it glitches out.
It's an illusion mask.
It's an illusion mask. Whoa. And he pulls it off and he's just a Japanese guy underneath it, which is why?
And then it suddenly makes sense why him and his family exclusively speak Japanese in a small American town.
Talk about a completely unnecessary element.
And not only that, it reveals that his kid never knew what his own face looked like. Like, his child had been wearing this advanced white face technology since birth to hide his identity as a ninja.
This kid did a ninja kickflip out of his mom and was immediately had a mask slapped onto his little baby face. Never even knew it. Oh my god, this kid thinks he's white. Oh no!
It reminds me of that joke from Kung Pao. We trained him wrong as a joke.
Yes. There is a thing in some stories, and this is essentially the unforced error of screenwriting, where you introduce a wrinkle for no reason. It has no utility to the plot you're trying to articulate, and in fact, introduces unnecessary and distracting complications to a story that can only make the progression of the narrative suffer. And this is one of them. The fact that this guy was pretending to be white the whole episode and then is revealed to be a completely different guy at the end. Now, you say, well, wait a second, wasn't he in hiding? Of course he's going to wear a mask. Yeah, sure. Plastic surgery.
Wait, you think that's...
Growing a beard. I don't know. Wearing a hat all the time. Literally anything other than what they did would have been better.
I don't know. It was pretty convincing. He had me fooled.
He sure had you fooled. You thought he was a blonde guy, and then it turned out to be a brunette. That's fucking crazy, dog. Oh, and I guess, like, you know, the fight scenes had an interesting animation style to them. I guess we could throw that in there.
I don't know. That's something I brought up earlier. The animation was very hit or miss for me because overall, it reminded me, at least it must have been something about the way it was colored and shaded, because it reminded me very heavily of those Castlevania, like Western anime style shows. You know, that or Blood of Zeus, I think another show is called. It just, there. I don't know if it's like the program that they're using to animate it or what, but it gave me like heavy vibes from that, and it's not something that I generally think of positively. I think it's I think it's kind of like over stylized in a way. Like everyone's face is very creased. Like, you ever notice that in that style?
Yeah,
everyone's got weird angular faces that are all like kind of twisted into weird rictus grins.
Well, can I tell you what I think it is?
What do you think it is?
I'm not sure about this. But I have seen this thing, similar things in other anime and other animation in general. And I think it's not rotoscoping, right? Mm-hmm. But it feels to me like an over-reliance on reference material, because the action is very highly choreographed, and choreographed in interesting ways. Like, the action itself makes sense in a physical way that a lot of action scenes in animes don't.
Yeah.
But the perspective on all the action is off. Mm-hmm. So spatially, the movements don't make sense in the animated, like the animated space.
Right.
The sense of space and movement is like off compared to the background or the distance between the characters themselves. So it feels like there's a very high fidelity movement going on and choreography going on, but the actual framing and setting of the animation as action in an animated space feels completely off.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and to me it manifests as like every action that I'm seeing lacks the appropriate feeling of weight that it needs to make it work, right? Everything feels very kind of like floaty. And I don't know, not over fluid, but it doesn't feel like there's any impact when stuff happens.
Yeah, I really think it's one of those things where it's like it's a reference material thing.
Yeah,
again, I'm totally guessing, but that's what it feels like to me, especially based on some of the way I've watched. I've rubbernecked on some animation channels online and people watching people film themselves for reference material, and then, using that to create their animations. And I feel like sometimes when they do that, they emphasize the wrong details of movement, right? Mm-hmm. And it also takes you further away from that, like, kind of pure animation aesthetic, which is like, it's not based on choreography. It is an exaggeration of human movement.
Yeah.
It is trying to capture the essence of movement without expressing the realistic aspects of movement. Sort of like an impressionistic painting is not trying to capture the hard-edged details of the subject. It is capturing.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It is.
Yeah.
What am I trying to say here? It's not using the medium in the way that it should be used, right? You're not trying to animate to recreate like what is on film, like what's being referenced, right?
Yeah.
You want the animation to feel bigger than life, bigger than something that could be filmed, while still giving the impression of it actually happening.
Yeah. You want to evoke something.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't know, not impressed. Like I said, I don't think that we were going to be continuing on with this series anyway. So
I definitely didn't hate it, but like going back to the John Wick thing, there's no point in continuing to watch it because the story is done.
Yeah,
we know everything about this character and this world and this narrative from the first 25 minutes of this show. So thanks, guys. You saved us a lot of time.
I mean, in film school, they call that efficient storytelling.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, you get in and out in 25 minutes. I keep saying movies should be 90 minutes, but hey, maybe movies should be 25 minutes.
And maybe anime series should be 90 minutes.
I think anime series should be 90 minutes. Maybe like a 10-minute episodes.
10-minute episodes. That's it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. You know what? The animation would probably improve for a lot of these shows, and the work-life balance of the animators would definitely improve.
Oh, there you have it. Ninja Kamui broke our confidence in the anime format.
Ninja Kamui, there you have it. Our official review of Ninja Kamui. Okay, let's talk about a better show, because we both watched a different show. Incredible.
We did.
Not a mid-season premiere, a regular season premiere that we just skipped.
Yeah, I'm not skipping it now. This is something that I had talked about wanting to watch when we did our winter season preview, hopes and aspirations episode.
Oh, yes. You had a shifty look to you, and you said maybe you'd give it a shot.
Maybe I'll give it a shot.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
So I did. I went and gave it a shot. Thoroughly disgusted by what I found, but at least I'm trying. So I am talking about The Foolish Angel Dances with the Devil.
Yes. Wow. What a title.
Yeah. Did you watch this?
I did watch this, yes.
Did you watch the first episode?
I watched the first episode, yes.
Okay. So this is essentially what I'm calling a Kaguya-sama ripoff, essentially.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that is an interesting take.
That's expressly where they go starting in episode 2, which I'm guessing you didn't watch.
I did watch.
Okay.
Episode 2.
Well, that's what I got from it. It is a kind of comedic rom-com story about two opposing personalities that are more alike than they want to admit, kind of falling for each other and trying to one-up each other. That's what I got.
No, it's definitely it's similar in that regard for sure.
Yeah. And in this case, it is about a devil boy, an uptown boy, and a city girl.
Debuduman. It's about a debuduman.
And he's the new kid in high school, and he's been sent there to. I'm unclear on his goals. Like there is a hell and heaven, and they're at war with each other. And
do you want us to? Well, hold on, because I have a lot to say about that. I think it's a fundamental part of this show. Do you want to start there? With the premise?
Yeah. Let's start there. Let's start with the premise. In this world, heaven and hell, demons and angels are at war with each other, and our main boy, Aruma. No, that's somebody else.
I feel like his name is not Akuma,
but it's close enough
because they couldn't be. Oh, Akutsu.
Akutsu, yeah.
Sorry.
And he's a little devil boy, and he's been sent to this high school in Japan to, I don't know, stir up sympathy for the devils. Is that what he's doing?
Sympathy for the devil. You're right. He's there to get sympathy for the devil. Play the lick.
We had to pay for that,
Play the riff. I don't care. Fair use.
And he gets there, and on his first day of transferring into the school, he falls in love with the cutest, let's call her petite girl in class.
The one blonde chick.
Yes. And he,
nothing suspicious about that.
And wouldn't you know it, he is surprised to find out that she's an angel, and she's there to root out little devils like him.
Yes, he meets her almost immediately. They do the meet cute where he sits behind, next to her at the back of the class after transferring in. And here's the thing I don't know why this caught me so hard. But when he asks a fellow classmate who she is, because he's immediately starstruck.
As you do.
Yes. They describe her as, and can you please help me with this? They describe her as a half and a Kiko Kushijo.
I was also confused by that, and I kind of just wrote it off because within the same sentence, the main character is also confused by that terminology.
Yes.
He doesn't know what it means either.
He doesn't know what it means either. This struck me. I mean, I don't remember a lot about the show. I mean, I remember a fair amount, but this line struck me very hard because, excuse me? First of all, she's a half I get that part. That is mildly offensive, I would say. Just straight up.
Wait,
they're calling her a half-breed. They're calling her a half-breed. Because she has blonde hair.
Oh, is that what you were getting at? I thought because she was short, I thought they were calling her like a halfling, like from Lord of the Rings.
Half pint? She's a half pint.
Yeah.
No, dude, no. It's because she has blonde hair. They're calling her a halvesies.
Oh.
They're calling her a half-breed.
Okay, so casual racism.
A demi-gaijin. So that's already pretty offensive. But what the fuck is a Kiko Kushijo? This also immediately sounds like it's incredibly offensive.
Have you looked it up yet?
Just the way they say it. No. Should I Google it?
Yeah, no, tell me how to spell it.
Okay, no, I got it.
Okay.
I'm Googling it. I'll Google it. Oh, no.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
What does it mean?
They called them... basically, the roundabout way is it refers to children of Japanese people who grow up abroad and then come back to Japan. The translations vary from such things as sojourn children, returnees, or third culture kids.
Wow, that last one seems very specific and very malicious.
This is some protectionist shit. This is bad. This is not good. Ooh, boy.
We can't let them come back. They might bring non-Japanese ideals with them.
Yeah, they'll never be real Japanese.
Oh man, that's fucked up.
That is, wow. Just like, damn, dude. This is how the boy who is in love with her describes her.
I was about to say, like, this is the dude that proclaims that he is in love with her and has been rejected 5 times and keeps going back.
Yeah, which also, dude, come on, man.
You know what? Not having standards, that's valid tech.
Just being completely shameless, even in the face of complete certainty of defeat.
Yeah, no, that's a real strat right there.
Yeah, I'm sure that's not self-destructive in any way. So my thing about the premise here, well, let me back up. Let me back up two steps.
Okay.
1, I actually like this show.
Okay.
I think it's not bad. It's better than I thought. 2, the humor all comes in completely different directions than I thought it was going to come from. It really surprised me in a lot of ways, especially in the way that it uses, let's say, non-traditional animation to make punchlines, which I really like.
I did appreciate that. You know, there were some good visual gags.
There's a lot of good visual gags. They often use a lot of like weird clip art or like actual photographic cutouts.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do cool things like the frame turns into a piece of paper and gets crumpled at one point, which I thought was really cool.
See, that's fun. They do a lot of stuff like that in Bocchi the Rock as well. That's one of the reasons I liked that one.
Yes. I think that stuff's great.
Yeah. Anything that gives you any reason to play around with the format, I'm all for, right?
I really like that. The single worst thing about this show is that it has to perpetuate its premise, and its premise is awful. It is actively detrimental to the show. If we had entered like Ninja Kamui in media res and we just were left to our own devices to assume why the angel and the devil were in this world, this show would be 1,000 times better immediately. But the fact that they have to spin this thing where it's like, oh, he's there to find a new leader for hell because the demons are too apathetic to fight back against heaven. So they need a new charismatic leader, which is already ringing Hitler bells like up and down the fucking street, by the way.
Yeah, I don't like the implication there.
Don't even need to get into that. But that is so fucking stupid, and it tramples on every attempt to like establish any kind of like naturalistic relationship between these characters and the world they exist in. I actively like try to hit myself on the head and forget that that's a part of the show so that I can enjoy like the fun parts. Yeah, that's my big thing about the premise.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything to add to that. I don't like the premise. I think that
it's terrible.
I think it would be even better if you just took out the whole demon angel aspect to begin with. I don't think it adds anything really.
I like that they're angels and devils, but we could have played this completely straight where he's a devil. He's there to like tempt people into doing bad things, and she's an angel, and she's supposed to be there to like try to tempt people into doing good things. What is wrong with that?
I don't think anything's wrong with it. I mean, I don't. Maybe it wasn't flashy enough to get picked up by a publisher.
Maybe
they needed to add like what is added by having this world building surrounding it?
What is the value add there?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. What I'm still trying to wrap my head around that I wasn't expecting going into this, because basically when I read the plot summary, I thought it was going to be what you just described, right?
Yeah.
What I wasn't anticipating were the heavy BDSM themes going on there. Like the fact that she pegs him for
in the first episode she pegs him, that's correct, and she puts one of those lock collars on him. What do they call those things? Promise collars?
Yeah.
What is it?
A dog collar is what I would call it.
I mean, it's straight up a dog collar. Yes, it is some BDSM shit. Like right off the bat.
Clocks him as a demon right away, and she's like, "All right, I'm here to exterminate devils, and so I'm gonna toy with him because she has some kind of sadistic streak when it comes to killing devils.
She's an asshole.
Yeah,
like
she sucks.
Straight up, she's a fucking asshole at the beginning of the show. She's a jerk. And her whole thing is that she wants to like sexually humiliate him, and she threatens to do so many, many times.
Yeah. And then I don't know, it seems like, does that keep coming up? Because it feels like they dropped that almost immediately in the second episode, when it shifts much more to the like they're really more like classmates just trying to get one up on each other.
It doesn't come up as much, but there is definitely an aspect of it, especially later on, where sometimes the whole power side of it is unclear, because when she collars the demon with her angelic powers, it binds him to her, and he has to like obey her whims or whatever, you know, that traditional kind of shit.
Yeah. Really, page one stuff.
Yeah. But apparently, like, it's also triggered by her emotions. So later on in the show, it does just go off accidentally sometimes. So she is having a nap or something, and it triggers his collar, and he very forcefully tries to make out with the bartender at a bar he's at for no reason. Which is very strange. There's also many, many jokes about him fucking his teacher for some reason. Which is very strange.
Yeah, don't like that.
Just like, that's not great. All right. But it cools off a little bit, especially when more of the like actual romance stuff kind of leaks in. I feel like that the hard edge of that side of the humor stuff kind of like bleeds out a little bit.
Yeah.
But
well, I only watched the first 2 episodes. It sounds like you watched all 6 of the ones that are out.
I watched 6 episodes of this.
Okay, so you loved this.
I did not love this. I definitely did not love this. And I love this less and less as more of the battle manga shit crept in.
That's always a killer for me. I'm so over the battle manga stuff. And it's like, I know it's one of the bigs right now. Season 2 just ended, but I was reading the Jujutsu Kaisen manga, and it just came to a dead stop for my interest as soon as it got out of the Shibuya arc. And it got just kind of into the more like, all right, we're doing stand battle death game. And I was so fucking bored. Sorry, I dipped.
Yes, a lot of people, it seems like a lot of people have problems with how hard it turns into the death game stuff. Even though I think there is like some really great stuff because of that. There is a part later on in Jujutsu Kaisen where the U.S. military discovers sorcerer energy and assumes that it works like oil, so they invade Japan to get it, which is fucking hilarious. That is funny as hell. It's really good.
I mean, we would do that, folks. We would.
Yes.
They got us good. They know us.
Yeah, they send Marines to kidnap Jujutsu sorcerers so that they could extract energy from them, which is that's perfect. I mean, that is perfect. You got to admit. But yes, it becomes a lot of explaining different moves, which is one of the big problems of the first few arcs. Mm-hmm. Is when it stops down to explain moves. But it's anime. Well, that's kind of what we signed up for, right?
I guess. I don't
know. I like when it's just being funny and playful with the characters interacting with each other, because I think there is all of the good stuff of Foolish Angel Dances with the Devil is when the two characters are just bouncing off of each other in fun ways.
I mean, I can see that. I don't know if I'm going to continue on with it. It wasn't doing a whole lot for me, even with the good visual gags that it had in there.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
The beginning of episode 6, there is a 10-minute sequence where she is caught in a bad dream about him. And the bad dream takes place, it morphs into a dating game, like an otome game. But the otome game is glitching out, and she can't control like which parts are breaking at any time. So like the text gets mistranslated, and then the graphics stop working, and they start like glitching out and duplicating. So like his face keeps getting copy pasted all over the screen and stuff. Which is very good.
On paper, that sounds cool as hell.
Yeah, I really like it. I really like that joke. It's very funny.
I just don't think that it has I don't know. I don't think the animation has what it takes to live up to that concept for me in my head. I don't know.
I don't think it definitely doesn't have the juice to be like good. But I will say I accidentally started watching episode 6. For the first one.
Accidentally.
I had no idea where the story would start anyway, so I honestly did think it did start in media res. I was fooled completely. And episode 6 like starts with that joke, and I thought that joke was so good that I actually was like, okay, fine, I'll go back and I'll watch the episodes up to this episode. So just as a pitch, that's my pitch, is like, I thought that joke was strong enough to make me watch the other ones.
All right, let's see here.
Okay, all right. You want to talk about some manga, huh?
I want to talk about some manga.
You want to talk about some manga?
I want to talk about some anime on an inked page. That's what I want to talk about.
All right. We could talk about some manga. You want to just take a blind poke at one of these and I'll tell you about it?
Yeah, I do. And I want to know, as we've established, I like eating. So the title Diner jumps out to me right away.
Oh no.
Tell me about Diner.
Okay, this might be the worst one on this list, but let's go for it. Diner by Hirayama Yumeaki and Kawai Takanori. Diner is a sort of horror action manga about a woman who is enslaved and forced to work at a diner.
That sounds dark.
It's dark. It is extraordinarily dark, almost to the point of parody.
I mean, is it like a creepy underworld diner, or like a diner where monsters eat?
You bet your ass it is a creepy underworld diner. You are absolutely correct.
Okay.
The story starts with our girl. Our girl is pretty broke, and her life sucks. And she's unfortunately, there's a lot of writing about like how she regrets not becoming a housewife and having a kid, which is real eye rolly to me. It's like, come on. But the whole point being she has regrets about her life and how she's ended up kind of as a deadbeat. And she decides to take odd jobs. And for whatever reason, the odd job she takes is as a getaway driver.
Okay.
For the couple from the diner in Pulp Fiction.
Oh, so they're going full on the nose. Tim Roth. Is it Tim Roth?
It is those characters, and they call each other Bunny and Pumpkin, just like in the movie. But they do not look like those characters. The man is a huge, offensive caricature of a Mexican guy, and the other one is a very offensive caricature of essentially a prostitute.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Love it.
So great. So just like in Pulp Fiction, the robbery itself goes very wrong for Bunny and Pumpkin, and the getaway is rough, let's say.
Things go sour.
Yeah.
Would you call it a botched job?
I would say it's a botched job. Yeah, we don't know exactly what happened, but we can assume they do run into a Samuel L. Jackson, and shit goes sideways. Mm-hmm. In The Escape, shit also goes sideways because our girl here, she has an unfortunate streak of justice, and she refuses to run over a baby in order to escape.
Wow, what a bitch.
I know. Well, it turns out the baby was fake. It was a setup to stop the car so that they could be taken by the Yakuza.
It was a setup baby.
It was a setup baby. It was a little ugly baby doll.
Oh,
yeah.
I hate it when that happens.
Yeah, when she wakes up.
I hate it when I'm trying to run over a baby and it ends up being a doll.
You hate it when you're trying to avoid the baby, surely. I'm sure that's what you meant, right?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, you were trying to avoid the baby. Yes, of course. So when these three characters wake up, they are in the traditional empty Yakuza warehouse being tortured. This is familiar to all of us, of course. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. We see very graphic torture of the man. I'm not going to get into details, but they really revel in the violence of that. There is, again, yet another very offensive caricature of a person I believe is supposed to be Thai or possibly some South Asian person, because they make weird references to how he can't speak Japanese very well. And he's got crazy fucking tattoos that are made to look like his skin is translucent, which actually is kind of cool. Because like it looks like you can see his internal organs and his lungs and stuff and his brain. That's pretty cool. You got to admit.
Yeah. No, I'm scrolling through the first chapter right now just to get an idea. Man. And I see what you're talking about. He's got like these weird like snake tattoos all over his arms. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's cool. I mean, that part's kind of cool. Anyway, these girls are stripped naked and beaten and told that they're going to be sold into sexual slavery.
Man, I hate Mondays.
Yep. When there are no buyers for either of these girls, because apparently they are not attractive enough even to be sexual slaves.
I'm not sure that's how that works.
Yeah, which is not made clear by the art. They're pretty much the standard generic anime girl. They are instead driven out into the countryside, beaten, and then buried up to their necks, and then beaten some more, just for good measure, I guess. At the last second, our main girl is begging for her life. She's like, "I deserve to live. I can do something. I can." And the only thing that comes to her, because she's lived a miserable, useless existence, is she yells out, "I can cook."
Uh-huh.
Not in the Heisenberg way, unfortunately. She means it literally. And so our main dude, there's like a main Yakuza guy. He's like, okay, pull her up. Just kill the other one.
That was it. That was enough. Like, oh, she can cook. All right. That's cool.
It turns out that somebody buys her because she says she can cook. Now, this is a little weird because when she wakes up, she is at the eponymous diner. Mm-hmm. The owner of the diner is this very suave but also scary looking dude. He makes lots of references to how the other waitresses at his diner have been killed by customers, and he begins describing her job to her, which is essentially like licking the toilet clean and serving murderers food and drink.
Making fake accounts to give them 5 stars on Yelp reviews.
Yeah, exactly. She apparently, and this is the baffling part, of course, her duties apparently do not include cooking at all, so I don't understand why we went through the entire setup to begin with.
Wait, so she doesn't even get to cook?
She doesn't cook. She just serves the food. She's the waitress.
She's just a waitress.
Generally serve the food and don't cook. So I don't understand why.
I feel like there's a leap here. A leap in logic that I'm missing.
Yeah, I think we maybe did something. Something got lost in the shuffle. Anyway, she's plucky. She's scared out of her mind, but she doesn't want to die. She does some kind of sick-ass mind game moves to ensure that this dude won't just, like, throw her in the trash. By hiding an extraordinarily expensive bottle of vodka that he can't afford to lose. Not a bad move. Our girl's pretty smart when it comes down to it. And she begins living her life as an underworld waitress. Horrifying weirdos come down to the diner, and they're freaks, and they do awful, awful things, and their stories kind of unfold in these episodes of them, like, coming into the diner and ordering food.
So it shifts into like an episodic kind of thing where it's more like about the various customers that come in on that day or whatever. Like, I'm just like, what is there an overarching plot to this?
I think the overarching plot is us discovering kind of the mystery behind the owner of the diner and the mystery of the diner itself, like its purpose in the underworld and the various weirdos that come through. We learn a lot of the stories. So a lot of the characters seem to have prior relationships with the proprietor of the diner. So that's interesting. We're also learning about her and like how far she's willing to go to survive and what she's willing to do to like maintain her sense of justice. For example, in one of the episodes, because she's feeling sorry for one of these killers because his daughter has been kidnapped by other killers.
Sure.
She decides to help him by playing a game of blackjack. Except in this version of blackjack, you are dealt chips when you lose. The chips are all honed to razor edge, and when you get them, you have to put them in your mouth.
Okay, and then what? Like, you have to swallow?
They slice up your mouth and tongue when they're in there, and the more chips you have, the more you have to put in your mouth, and by the end of the round, if you are the person in last place, the person in first place has to punch you in the face.
Who came up with this game?
Murderers, obviously.
Now, let me ask you this. Is this the kind of establishment that a one Jonathan Wick would patronize?
Absolutely. This would slot very neatly into the Wiccaverse, except it's not high scale enough. It is kind of a lower class establishment compared to the various hotels that are managed in the John Wiccaverse. This is really more of a dive compared to those places. And the clientele are not exactly sophisticated assassins. They're just pieces of shit.
So what kind of food do you serve to assassins and killers and thugs like that?
Well, he makes really nice handmade cannolis at one point.
Oh, well, that's a stereotype. I don't like that.
Yeah, also, there's a lot of mafia references, lots of mafia movie references splattered about. He makes like a kind of boiled twice over fish soup at one point. You know, stuff like that, really.
So criminals really love bouillabaisse.
They do love bouillabaisse. And, the thing about the way the stories play out, though, is that the criminals often don't...
The criminals?
They often don't get the criminals don't often get the opportunity to eat before violent altercations break out. So we talk about food every once in a while, but it very rarely makes it into anyone's stomach.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
That's like the whole point of Dungeon Meshies. You have to have a proper meal before you go fight.
The owner's dog does get introduced a little bit later, and I think the dog does eat a lot of the food off the floor.
And then it gets killed by Keanu Reeves.
The dog, I refuse. The dog will not die. That is not going to happen in this manga. I reject that reality. The dog is not going to fucking die. The dog is going to be fine. I'm certain of it. I will redraw the chapters if I have to. That dog is going to be fine.
All right.
This is walking a very fine line because this has one toe in just really bad taste edgelordism constantly, but there is a kind of a flair to it that I think is fun. There's some fun stuff in here.
Does it, I don't know, does it dial itself in? Because I feel like a lot of manga, they kind of go for that edgelord over the top aspect to shock people and kind of draw in readers in the first couple chapters, and then they kind of settle into a more grounded take on whatever they're trying to go for. You know what I mean?
I definitely don't think they are settling into a more grounded version of the premise, but I do think the authors understand that edgelordism is a strong ingredient to go into the cooking euphemism, right? Mm-hmm. It is pungent, right? It's like it's a very strong spice, and your whole dish can't be spice, right? You need a nice neutral base, and then the spice has to complement that base, right?
You ever put too much nutmeg on something? It's awful.
I have done that. I have done that, yes. On a Slurpee. I don't want to think about that. That was a bad time.
Yeah. Well, same principle here.
Yes, exactly the same principle here. If they had put too much nutmeg in the Slurpee, it would become inedible. But I think they are playing just around the edges, almost like a kind of high-class eggnog, where you're very close for the nutmeg to kind of be overwhelming, but not enough to like make it distasteful. So it could tip over. It could boil over, yeah?
Nice.
At any point.
I like that.
But as far as I read, it's still right up on that edge.
Okay.
So, I don't know. It's all right. It's weird, so it's got that going for it.
Well, I like weird.
Damn, that's some manga.
All right.
I wish you'd asked me about the werewolf girl.
The next time.
Oh, okay.
Got to keep some of these in the back pocket, you know?
Okay, fine.
I've got to run away. I've got to get away from the pain. You're driving to the heart of me. The shit seems to go nowhere, and I lost my life. For my toss and turn, I can't sleep at night.
Well, guys, we would be remiss as the #1 anime news podcast to not even mention the tragedy of the Funimation. Let's not call it a merger.
It's more like what a white blood cell does to a pathogen. It got absorbed in a John Carpenter's The Thing X fashion.
Yes, two organisms were placed in a cage together, and the bigger one ate the smaller one.
It was a real Thunderdome situation, really.
Yes. So Funimation and Crunchyroll went head-to-head, and as we said at the time, whoever wins, we lose.
Let them fight.
And now we are in the process of losing. And if you were one of the, I hate to, shoot you so straight, but if you were one of the absolute suckers who subscribe to the Funimation anime subscription service, you are homeless. You are anime homeless now.
You've been actively screwed out of any money you may have given those people.
Yeah, these people basically took your hard cash and spit in your face. And I just want to dispel you of what they may have convinced you of, in that you have to immediately run tail between your legs straight to Crunchyroll, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to do that. There are alternatives. I know it doesn't seem like that because Crunchyroll is everywhere we look, but there are alternatives to Crunchyroll. You can watch anime legally in other places.
It's true. I have no love for those 1%er fat cat Crunchyroll bigwigs. You know what I'm talking about?
Me neither.
And I think that a lot of this stuff is already on streaming services you may be totally legally and totally above board to subscribe to, right?
Exactly. Or maybe even some sites you hadn't considered yet. Maybe you haven't even heard of them.
Yeah, let the kids from the back of the class have a turn.
Yeah. Just because Crunchyroll has their own VTuber and merch store and convention and their own PlayStation app doesn't mean you have to fucking dive directly into their arms. You can go other places.
I found a couple on a little innocuous website you may have heard of called Hulu. Yes, it's true. Hulu has anime these days.
Hulu, right. The ABC subsidiary.
Yes, the ABC / Disney / Time Warner Starbucks.
Now, I have been a loyal Hulu member since, I want to say, 2007.
Early adopter.
Very early adopter. Back when they didn't even have ads. They would just give you free television, even if you were in your school library avoiding class. You could just pop in, open up a website. Back when, most people didn't know that you could use computers this way, and just sit there and watch Lost instead of going to your physics class.
Those were the days.
So I have a lot of nostalgia for the Hulu streaming service. And now you're telling me there's anime on there?
It's true. You can finally get your anime fix from Hulu. Say that you're some hapless pervert, some horrible, disgusting man with no taste and no
some
morals.
Sweaty dipshit.
Yeah, just some awful sweaty
who needs your cartoons.
Dipshit maggot of a person. What I'm describing is, of course, the average Mushoku Tensei fan.
Yes, you almost certainly think a joke in Konosuba has been funny at some point in your life.
Well, guess what? You can get both Konosuba and Mushoku Tensei injected directly into your eyeball veins right here on Hulu.
Holy shit.
They got both seasons of Mushoku Tensei. That's right. 2 seasons of a little baby being a pervert about sucking on tits. A baby with the mind of a man, mind you.
That sounds perfect for you, you little weirdo.
Yeah.
You little inexplicably wet weirdo.
Get yourself on over there. Hey, maybe you don't like that. Maybe you want some, haphazardly regurgitated nostalgia bait because they got Trigun Stampede on there too.
Oh, shit. Next, you're going to tell me there's some reboots to other classic anime on there.
Well, you know what? They got Sailor Moon Super. Remember that?
Oh, shit.
Nobody remembers that because nobody watched it.
And so how much do I have to pay to watch ads in between each episodes of these anime?
Okay, so adjusting for calculations, carry the 2 times that, you literally are paying $345 per 20-minute episode watched.
Now, does that account for the recouped advertising money that the company gets back for your eyeballs?
No, this is a brand new marketing strategy that Disney's trying out. You pay for the ads as well.
Interesting. That is innovative.
I'm only slightly exaggerating, but it is like $16 a month or something for Hulu with ads right now. Another like $4 on top of that to get the ads turned off. It's fucked up. It's not. I take it back. Don't go to Hulu. It's a silly place.
Can I counter? Now, of course, everybody knows famous ABC subsidiary Hulu.com, but I think a lot fewer people are aware of the underground cult classic streaming site, Tubi TV. Now, don't worry, just because they couldn't get Tubi.com and had to settle for TubiTV.com, despite their company being named Tubi, that does not mean that they're trying to steal your personal information. They are only in the business of providing you...
Why'd you bring up the thing about the personal information?
It has nothing to do with stealing your personal information. At no point do they try to steal your personal information during the registration process where you have to give them all your personal information. That is all anonymized on the back end and is not sold to any subsidiaries of any big companies.
Okay, that all seems above board. I think I'm on board with that.
Yeah. Now, of course, you know what they say. There's no free lunch And
They do say that, don't they?
yes. And since we're living in modern era, we now have updated it to there is no free anime. But guess what? Guess what, motherfucker? Tubi is offering you free anime.
What?
No cost. No subscription
They're
cost.
just giving away the anime
They're just giving away the anime
for free?
for free. And you know what? When the product is free, you're not the product. No, it's the product that's free. I just said that.
Well, okay, let me ask you this. Why would they have to sell our personal information if they're already paying for the anime with ads? I'm assuming this is with ads, right?
I mean, look, just because you have to watch 3, 4, maybe 7 ads per 20-minute episode of an anime doesn't mean that, these are, intrusive experience, cheapening the idea of watching something for free in the first place. These ads are mostly harmless. I mean, they're for things you're probably already interested in. Not because of the data harvesting. It has nothing to do with that. No, these are just very on-the-nose guesses based on, if you click on an episode of Naruto, I mean, come on, how many things are you really interested in buying?
Listen, I think you keep bringing up the data harvesting thing, and it's like you say it's not happening, but you keep talking about it.
Look,
it's got me a little thrown off. That's all. It's it.
you shouldn't even be thinking about your personal information leaking, okay? It's not that big of a deal. And it's not happening. Even if it was, it's not happening. But even if it was happening, it's only there to make your personalized experience better. But it's not happening.
It's definitely not happening, right? Like that's
It's not
okay.
I
all right.
promise you. If you want to watch, I don't know, one of the incredible entries in their catalog, like let's say the little watched classic from 2008, Hells by Yoshinobu Yamakawa, the guy who did Dead Leaves.
Man, Dead Leaves was dope though. I
Dead
really
Leaves
like
is
that.
fucking dope. Dead Leaves is really fucking good. If you want to watch that in 15-minute installments, punctuated by extraordinarily loud, for some reason, ads for various soft drinks, there is no better site than Tubi.
Shit, what was that? What was that site Bob Iger created where he thought that everyone was going to want to watch like 5-minute shows on their phone? What was that?
You're thinking of Quibi,
I'm
which
thinking
has
of
come
Quibi,
up
yeah.
a strange amount recently in my life. I don't know why, but people have been talking about that a lot. I think because TikTok just extended the video time to like 10 minutes. I think that's why it's coming up a lot. That wasn't Bob Iger though. That was the NBC guys.
Oh, you're right.
That was,
you're right.
That was the executive they portrayed in Seinfeld. It was actually that guy. Quibi was his idea.
What a loser.
Yeah. So I'm just throwing it out there. TubiTV.com is sitting there waiting for you to enjoy episodes of 2007's Dinosaur King, or maybe you want to watch Shaman King in the original Spanish dub.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's right there waiting for you.
I mean, the Spanish dub of Shaman King is only second to the Spanish dub of Simpsons. Like, people talk about that. They say that specific thing all the time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we talked about the German dub of Dungeon Meshi, but man, the Spanish dub of The Simpsons, that's the real shit. Hey, do you want to watch the 46-minute cut of Kite, the famous hentai turned non-hentai movie?
Boy, do I.
Yeah, well, it's right there on TubiTV.com for you, and it's barely even going to harvest any of your personal information. Wait, do you have any more sites?
All right, you know what? I think that we should try and give our listeners a classier option, right? Try and class up this joint a little bit.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I kind of object to that framing, but okay, fine.
Listen, I would say get yourself over to Max.com because they have such a beloved catalog classics as all of the Adult Swim commissioned FLCL
Oh,
sequels.
dope. I love a reboot.
Yeah. Well, they got 4 of them now. That's 4
Damn.
reboots of a 6-episode anime that people talked too much about for the last 20 years.
Man, they're doing something right if they're rebooting it 4 times. Come on. You don't do that if you're not doing something right.
They even brought Haruka back for this last one.
Oh, I love that. I love when we recycle classic characters. That's the shit. shit.
Listen, maybe you missed it when it was on such a highbrow streaming site as Shudder, but now you can watch Housing Complex C. The horror anime Housing Complex C on HBO Max.
Oh, that's
Or,
great.
excuse me, Max. Don't come at us, David Zaslav. I called it Max.
Just
it's
Max.
not HBO
just
anymore.
Max. Okay, we got to be really careful because I hear we are going to be shelved by Zaslav if we don't shape up soon. If we don't pump our listener numbers up, Zaslav is really eyeing the tax write-off on this show. So hey, if you're listening, get your friends up on this or something.
It's I'm having a really...
I don't want to go into the water tower. Please don't put me back in the water tower.
I'm having a real hard time coming up with stuff to goof on from Max's catalog because...
Oh, don't say that.
Well, the issue is that, they have Ninja Kamui, which we just talked about because of the Adult Swim connection, and then all of their other anime stuff is just the Ghibli catalog and, Makoto Shinkai stuff. It's all, for lack of a better term, prestige anime movies.
HBO for the prestigious anime watcher.
Yeah, if you want to express your love for anime without people knowing that you're one of those anime fans, get yourself over to HBO Max. 'Cause they got the classy shit. They got Princess Mononoke. They got Promare. That's Studio Trigger, baby. They got Spirited Away. That's the one Miyazaki turned down an Oscar for.
This is good shit, man.
They have the HBO Spawn series. They haven't Zaslav that yet. It's still there.
I love that shit.
Yeah. Also, Scavenger's Reign, we talked about a while ago.
Talked about that.
So
great.
get over there. This one actually
Damn.
might be worth your time. Not your money, though. Don't pay for that.
Yeah, they basically don't have any anime over there, but if you pay a lot of money, you might get a couple of these things you've probably already watched if you have even any interest at all in anime.
And not to mention all 7 seasons of Rick and Morty.
Hell yeah, wubba lubba dub dub. Am I right?
Okay, we get the money for that now, right?
Can I get a wubba lubba dub dub?
They said that they would pay us if we said that. Anyway, I don't know. As I'm waiting for the check to come in, what else do you have?
Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure everybody knows about HBO Max. Max, obviously. Now, what if you're a more discerning viewer? I'm not calling anybody a plebe for wanting to watch, the Miyazaki catalog or some kind of fucking poser if you only watch Makoto Shinkai movies. But what if you're one of these real heads? You know what I mean?
Yeah, one of those anime old school guys.
Yeah, what if you're in it? You know what I mean? What if you've read a book about anime? You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I know
my
what you're
brother?
talking about.
Yeah. And what if you think Gen Z are ruining the world? You know what I mean, my brother?
You know what? I also happen to express that particular opinion about young people.
If you believe that young people are wrong about everything and their tastes are all bad and it's because they're young and only the things that you grew up with are good. Yeah, I'm describing all of us, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Any millennial with their head on straight obviously has these opinions. You're going to want to be the kind of pervert who watches anime on retrocrush.tv.
I'm already drawn in by the term retro.
Yeah. Look, retro is catnip to a certain kind of person who has extraordinarily strong opinions that are somehow organized by decade. Now, if you're like me and you believe all the best anime was made between 1979 and 1987, wow, do I have a website for you? Look, if you go to Retro Crush TV, which is serious because they got the .tv extension, that's how you can tell. Right up front, you are going to be slapped with, get this, the original run of Urusei Yatsura.
Oh, shit.
Right on the front page. I'm talking about the first Blackjack movie.
Go on.
Wow, incredible. What if I told you the #1 streaming spot on this website today is The Three Musketeers, Adventure of Aramis from 1989.
I remember that. I'm clapping
Holy
and
shit.
I'm happy right now because you said that thing that I remember.
That's a thing you remember, and that's what makes it good, and that's what makes this website good.
Oh, wow.
But, obviously you can't just revel in the cartoons of your youth. You also want to be challenged because you're a smart guy who has really good smart opinions.
I am, aren't I?
Yeah, and sometimes you want to put on like a documentary or something, and guess what? Retro Crush TV's got you, bro, because they've got anime documentaries like Hideaki Anno, The Final Solution.
It's not called
Streaming
that.
now. Hideaki Anno, The Final Solution. He talks about Evangelion a lot, and he makes sad faces. That's really going to
They did
inform
not
you.
name it that. You're making that up.
You'll have to go to retrocrush.tv to find out. Okay, putting that aside, a person like you is refined. You understand that there's more to the world than these cartoons, no matter how good they are or how 80s they are.
It's true. I do understand that.
You are classy, and that's why sometimes you want to throw on a live-action Golgo 13 movie from the 1970s. Well, they've also got you covered, bro.
I never asked for this, but I instinctually want it.
Dog.
Just to stick it to them kids.
Yeah, if you made a Gen Z watch a Golgo 13 live-action movie from 1973,
They would literally melt from not being on their phone.
their heads would explode. Their brains would melt out of their ears, and they would forget how to log into TikTok to watch their phones.
Also, kids, don't forget how to log into TikTok. Watch our videos.
Also, they have, because honestly, this is straight up an entire nostalgia bait Faraday cage. They have a live TV section where you can pretend to be watching television. So, hey, it's all there for you, dude. And of course, this one also doesn't harvest any of your personal information. No, they don't
What
have
are
to
the
do
odds
that.
that two websites would be harvesting people's information?
That would be crazy and pointless because the data brokers are already buying all your information from the other websites that are harvesting your personal information.
Talk about bad business.
Yeah, it's just redundant, right?
I know. I don't even know why I was worried about it to begin with. You know what? Speaking of people who are definitely not harvesting any data from you, let's take a look at some of the more mainstream sources that people are getting their anime today.
The anime is coming from inside the house.
Yeah. Specifically coming through the Alexa. Alexa, search me anime. Let's see what we get up on Amazon Prime's selection.
Now, you don't literally want to say, Alexa, search me anime, because Alexa will call the police on you.
Yeah.
So you want to kind of create some kind of fun euphemism for your own personal household.
I was just trying to put Pokemon on for my kid, and my Alexa swatted me.
It called Child Protective Services immediately.
My kid called me a scrub for my taste in Pokemon.
Dad, don't you know that like 151 are for like ancient old losers?
I only like Boomermon. But I think that Amazon does provide a relatively good service. Where else can you get a search engine for such a diverse diaspora of varying genre and quality? Some of it's not even anime when you search for it. Where else could you get recommended the Dante's Inferno? That's right, the 2006 Xbox game.
Oh, I'm into that shit.
The Dante Inferno animated series alongside Pokemon and the ever popular 1999 romance My Girlfriend is Showbitch.
Oh, what a classic.
Yeah.
All the millennials know what's up.
Yeah.
All the old heads.
I didn't know before Amazon recommended it to me, but Megan, you remember about the movie about the creepy doll?
Yes, the killer doll.
That's an anime. That's actually an anime.
I was kind of thinking of that when I was watching it. At the time, I was kind of like, I don't know. I think this might be an anime.
Also, I was not expecting it, but that live action Wheel of Time TV show that they made, that is also an anime.
Oh, I did know that. When I was watching that one, I was like, oh, this is obviously anime.
Clocked it right away. That's definitely anime.
They try to play coy with it a little bit around the edges, but it's obviously anime.
Or maybe you just want some real warm nostalgia feelings, and they do have Elfenlied on there.
Ah, yes. One of my yearly rewatches. I am not a pervert. I just happen to rewatch Elfenlied every year.
Or if you are a pervert, they have Made in Abyss.
Good for just for the sake of variety, Hey, and even without anime, they've got every one of the Bad Ben movies on there, so that's worth it just for that.
They do still have that exclusive contract for all the Evangelion remake movies.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
The final solution to watching the Evangelion movies.
Shin Evangelion. But yeah, we all know Bezos loves his anime, and I think that really comes through with how well they've tailored their ability to search through their website. I love seeing 15 hits of the same Pokemon season in a row.
Oh yeah. Well, that's fine, but I think most people are probably, everybody's already an Amazon subscriber. There's got to be 3 people left that haven't been subsumed into the hell machine. So I want to go a little bit off the beaten path yet again. I'm thinking anime, website, streaming.com. Oh, that's got to be High Dive. HighDive.com. This is an anime streaming site. Would you believe it?
I've believed that that's a website.
Now, this is a really great one, and I know what you're thinking. Why is there yet another paid anime streaming service? How many can the market really hold, right? But hold on, you don't know the twist yet.
What's the twist?
The twist, this is perfect for you guys because High Dive is the anime home for dubbed lovers. English dubs abound on High Dive.
Really?
Every dub you could possibly ask for. Do you hate reading? Or perhaps are you illiterate? Welcome to your new anime home. High Dive is going to take care of you, baby. It's going to take care of you so good. You want to watch Chidori RSC in English? You got it. You want to watch Chivalry of a Failed Knight in English? You've got it. You want to watch 2 different dubs of Clanad in English? Yo, baby, you've got it.
My cup runneth over.
If you hate listening to foreign languages and you hate reading, High Dive has got you covered, my man.
I'm imagining this is for someone where the Japanese language is actively offensive to their ears.
Yes, if you have developed that one disease where certain phonemes in the Japanese language causes you actual physical pain, but you desperately want to watch Medaka Box, High Dive is sitting there waiting for you with open arms. And guess what? Show bitch in English. Right there, my man.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's right. I know you're so curious as to what they sound like in the English dub. It's right there.
I gotta check that shit out right now.
He's going right. Oh, my God, he's doing it.
I'm doing it.
He's doing it right now.
Oh, wait, no. Oh, God, I went wrong somewhere and I ended up on Disney Plus.
Oh, no. That's the wrong site.
But wait a minute. Disney Plus also has anime.
No, it doesn't. Stop it, Nate. Stop it.
I'm not kidding. I'm being 100% honest, true, and faithful to you right now.
Are you being honest with me right now?
I'm being totally honest.
Okay, prove it.
Hand to God, Disney has got the anime. Listen, if you're a tired parent and you just lunk your kid down in front of the boob tube for a second, as is time-honored tradition in our fair society.
He doesn't mean that literally. He doesn't mean that.
I mean it literally and explicitly.
No, Alexa, no. Alexa, stop.
All you got to do is search up anime on Disney Plus, and you can have your kid watching Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai in no time. Yeah, is that too hot for your kid? Is your kid a fucking loser? A baby who can't handle the heat that's in the kitchen? Then switch it over to Zom 100.
Wow.
Because they got that on there too. Simulcasting, baby.
Now, this is starting to, you know what? This is starting to ring some bells. I don't think you're a liar. I do remember hearing that on his way out the door, Bob Chapek, out of spite, decided to front load a bunch of these pervert anime onto the streaming site so that Iger had to deal with the headache of
It's all high level boardroom power play stuff.
yeah.
Which, if that's your thing, they got Kaguya-sama Love is War on here too.
Oh shit. Does that mean? Wait, hold on. Are you telling me? Are you telling me Kaguya-sama is a Disney princess?
Oh shit! Oh,
Are you
shit.
telling me?
I think that's exactly what I'm telling you right now.
This is blowing my mind. Oh my god!
You found it out here first, people.
Wow.
Kaguya-sama is the first anime Disney princess.
Imagine her and Frozen just chopping it up, old school style. Man. Just her and Frozen and Cinderella and whatever, just like hanging out, shooting the shit. Man, that's awesome.
I love that. Maybe she'll appear in Wreck-It Ralph 3.
Yeah, or Kingdom Hearts.
Well, there's no anime allowed in Kingdom Hearts anymore. Everybody knows that. All right. Front load one at me.
Well, I mean, this is the bottom of the barrel. Unfortunately, I've only really know of one other place you can watch anime.
There's only one other place to watch anime on the entire internet.
If you've gone everywhere else, of all the gin joints and all the towns and all the world, you walk into peacocktv.com for your desperate last hit of anime.
Wow, you really walked that one in.
I flubbed it. I couldn't pull the line when I needed it. Anime has really destroyed my brain. This is a cautionary tale, folks. You are at the dead end of the streaming internet. You have somehow found yourself in a dark alley. A neon light buzzes to life. It blinks as if struggling to illuminate the creaky door underneath that says peacocktv.com/collections/anime-shows. That's right. You have reached the end of the anime rainbow. Peacock TV.
So I just want to say I don't like the name Peacock. I think it's
it's terrible.
I think it's
god-awful.
aggressive and sexual in a way I don't like.
It's truly awful. Regrettable. But they came up with it in the 60s, and for whatever reason, they just had to stick with it.
Not many people know that NBC invented internet streaming in the 60s with their seminal website Peacock. They just had to shelve it until everybody else caught up.
Yeah, it turns out the early adopters just weren't profitable enough. If you have nowhere else to turn, and unfortunately you also happen to have more money than any streaming site should ever charge anyone ever.
And let's be honest, if you're listening to this show, you already fit into both those categories.
Also, you have way too much free time. And you need basically the smallest possible catalog because your attention wanders very easily and you need to just watch like 4 or 5 shows.
Sorry, what'd you say? Anyway, go on.
Anime, and talking about anime, remember the show?
Oh, right, duh.
Yeah, you remember Blackjack?
Oh, yeah. I love Blackjack.
I talked about him earlier.
Yeah, I'm clapping.
Yeah, well, you can't watch the movies on Peacock.
Oh. Well, what?
Yeah.
Can you watch? What can you watch?
But Blue Dragon?
The Xbox game?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, hold on. But you can watch Kobato.
I'm familiar with that one.
It's an anime.
I mean, I don't know. You got to bring something to the table here. Come on.
What?
Okay.
Check this shit out.
All right.
Here's a winner.
Okay. All right. Give it to me.
Dog, they've got 1 season of Bubblegum Crisis. Yo, what is up?
Shit. Going back to Mega Tokyo.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. You know what's great about Bubblegum Crisis is there isn't a single episode that has the same runtime.
That is actually cool. I like that.
I think that's cool. I think that's really cool.
It kind of evokes the image of like, yeah, we'll just put whatever we can in there. Just get it fucking out the door.
You kind of roll the dice every week. You're like, okay, this episode, maybe it's an hour long. This episode, maybe it's 20 minutes long. This episode, a 48-minute episode this week. That's cool.
I mean, I think that it definitely helps to not try and force stories to be longer than they need to. There's got to be something else.
There's got to be something else. Hold on. Okay, Naruto, Hunter x Hunter, Death Note. Come on. There's got to be something. JoJo's Vampire Knight, Rama. No, come on.
Hey, these all sound like the names of big name shonen anime.
Kaiba, shut up. Kaiba, Bakuman, Megalobox. Come on. There's got to be some. It's got Gaku in Heaven on here.
Hey, there we go.
Damn, and the boys are so pretty. I mean, I really can't understate that. These boys are so pretty. God, it really reawakens my love of anime.
Seeing those pretty boys.
Oh, these boys. Their hair is all fluffed up and spiky. There's something about being on the student council. God, I love student councils, bro. I fucking love student councils so goddamn much.
Student fascists is what they are.
Oh, shit. Wow. Okay, enough. I got to close the show before that remark gets back.
No, I'm about to get political on here.
No, you got to close the show. Nope, I'm not letting you get political on here. Not me. I would never let anyone say political things on this show. We're closing it up. I'm shutting the door on the podcast. All right. I think you've gotten the idea. There's plenty of places to watch anime other than Funimation and Crunchyroll. You're drowning in options. Instead of taking up any more of your time, because I know you're raring at the bit to sign up to 4 or 5 different streaming sites now that we've described them to you, let's sign off for another week.
All right.
Giving you a swirly in the anime death spiral. You're dripping wet and ready to watch some cartoons. Wow.
And that's the way we like you, beautiful and handsome and oh so very tall listeners.
Yes, thank you, beautiful and handsome listeners, for listening to this dumbass podcast. I really appreciate it. Yet again, I don't know, interact with the show on the internet sites, I suppose.
We know that you're capable of giving us 5 stars. Someone's done it already.
It is technically possible. I know it has happened before, so I think it can happen again. And please, we're just trying to trick innocent people into accidentally subscribing to this show. Can you please help us do that?
It's the least you could do, really.
It's literally the least you could do. I mean, come on.
Begrudgingly press ganging listeners into engagement. That's good. That's a good look, right?
Yet again, I do not care if you actually listen yourself, as long as you get other people to listen against their will. Maybe like when they're taking a shower, grab their phone, subscribe. When you're at a Best Buy, go to all the phones and laptops, subscribe on there. If you're on the bus, try to like pickpocket somebody's phone out of their bag, subscribe on that. You get the idea.
There are avenues to achieving these things.
Yeah, this is doable, people.
All right. I think I'm spent on
Christ.
anime. I got it all out of my system.
I hate anime so fucking much.
Do the TikToks, like, subscribe. Bye.
Bye.
The DARPA chief.
The Lollylule Low.
Metal Gear. You know a lot about science, Doctor, but you don't know how good a cigarette tastes in the morning.